Hey you guys, welcome back to another review of Iyanla Fix My Life called The Trauma Train. Let's go ahead and get into this because it was a 2-hour show. So let's dive into this. Hi, my name is Kourtney and welcome to our channel. My husband Eddie is not here because, of course, I do Iyanla Fix My Life reviews by myself. I know you guys, some of you that watch all the time get tired of me saying the same thing over and over, but I have to say to those people that are new, so I have to say this. So if you are new, let me tell you what this channel is all about. This channel is about Kourtney and Eddie. We do relationship topics, reviews, and right now I'm doing Iyanla Fix My Life by myself. My husband watched some of it with me though. It was very interesting. Sometimes I can cry. We both be crying on certain stuff. So I'm just saying this was very emotional on certain parts. So yeah, if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, welcome back, co-ed fam. Welcome back, co-ed fam. Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and dive into this because it was a lot. So you're dealing with 5 generations. You got Lula, which is 72 years old. She is the mother. She's the foundation. She's the grandmother, great-grandmother too. You got Herbert, which is her brother. He's like 60-something. You got Justin, which is Yolanda's son. So everything is really based around Yolanda. So you got Justin, which is Yolanda's son. Dorica, which is his wife. You got Lauren, and you got KJ, which is also Yolanda's children. So that's what the generation. So it seems like I said, everything is based around Yolanda and her actions because it's affecting her mom. It has affected her children as well as her grandchildren. So Iyanla sits down and talks to Miss Lula, which is, like I said, the grandmother, and basically just saying, why are you here? And she wants healing for her entire family. She wants restoration. She wants them to get past all of the hurt, the pain, and stuff they went through. So she's taking her back to the very beginning on how all of this basically started. So it looks like that Ms. Lula was in a relationship with a woman for 45 years. You know, I guess they didn't have marriage. She didn't say they were married, but they was in a relationship for 45 years. And the woman, they lived together. They raised children together. So when Miss Nancy, she was on her, she had lung cancer and she was in the hospital and she was about to die. They asked Miss Lula, did you want to give her the morphine drip? And she was like, no, because I know when they get the morphine drip, most of the time they're not going to talk anymore. They're just pretty much going downhill from there. Well, Miss Lula consulted her granddaughter-in-law. Yeah, her granddaughter-in-law, and to ask her because she was, just became a nurse, a registered nurse and everything. And so she wanted to know her opinion. She was like, no, I don't think that she needs to get the morphine drip. So Yolanda, which is the mama, which is Miss Lula's daughter, she said, well, you should give her the morphine drip. You should give her the morphine. So she was really frustrated and a lot of pressure on her to go ahead and, she was like, no, because right now she's conscious. She's able to talk. She's able to, she's coherent. So why should we? And she just got frustrated with everybody, keep saying that she should. And she was like, okay. And she just threw her hands up and walked out the room. She said by the time she came back, they had already given her the drip. And eventually, she passed away. So after that, it seemed like Miss Lula was in a dark place. She just was not in a good place. And I think her daughter, the family came over to the house and they were just talking and everything. But Yolanda got mad at Dorica. That's the granddaughter-in-law. That she got mad at her because she pretty much gave the mom, I don't know if you don't know, I'm just saying Miss Lula. She just pretty much, gave her advice or her opinions being a registered nurse. But Yolanda got mad at that and she was like, what is this be doing over here? And so all of that rift came and Lula went down to her brother's house, which is Herbert, went down to the house and said, listen, go and tell them people, get everybody out the house. I just can't deal with this. It's too much. Miss Nancy done died and everything. I think we got a nickname for her. She done died and this is too much. So he went down there as being the protector, as Yolanda, as Iyanla called him. went down there and said, listen, everybody get out. You know, Lula don't want nobody here. Your mama, your grandmama don't want nobody. Everybody get out. And he went to tell Yolanda. She was like, basically, you know, you can't tell me to get out, you know. And she started pointing her finger in his face, in her uncle's face. And he pushed the finger out of the face. And according to him, she just did, you know, like some people do, honey. They be acting like you just done killed them. So she done passed out. And, oh my, how you going? And she was like, oh, you finna go to jail for this. So called the police. He ended up being arrested. He did have a court date, and they ended up dropping the case. Yolanda was mad at her mom because her mom did not take up for her. She did not, you know, side with her. Even in court, she was on her brother's side. So she was mad at her mom for that. And she felt like, you know, she was out here by herself. You know, you didn't even defend me. Your brother put his hands on me. Well, because of that, she sent her mom, y'all know back in the 70s, they had the print. I know I got one. Well, you know, they take pictures and the picture is that golden, brownish yellow. I don't know if it was because of the time it faded or whatever. But anyway, she sent that to her mama, scratched her mama out, excuse me, and put a beat up there and said some words like, you know, what kind of mom, you know, would let something like this happen, or what kind of mom are you? And sent it to her, and it just broke Miss Lula's heart, you know, because now she's torn between her daughter and her brother. So that's a backstory on how all of this drama and mess got together. So that from there started a whole bunch of, you know, I'm not gonna be around my family, my uncle. I don't wanna be around no man that put his hands on me. So yeah, and she felt some type of way too because the charges were dropped. But did he really do what you say he did? Because when Yolanda tell the story, she said, you know, my uncle put his hands around my neck. He tried to choke me. So anyway, Herbert said he's there because he don't want to be seen as a beater. You know, he don't want to be seen as a child, as a woman beater. He is more of a mentor. He likes to motivate. He likes to, you know, uplift and be a role model for the people in the family. And he don't want this stigma, this image over him. So he's just tired of that. Yolanda just, you know, wants to know who she is because backstory, when Nancy and Ms. Lula met, they did not have, Yolanda was not born yet. And Miss Lula had 4 children already by previous men. Yolanda has a problem with because she don't look like her siblings. So she wants to know where she come from. None of the siblings' daddy was around. All they knew, I guess, you know, she knew is Miss Nancy. And they told the story at the end. Lula told the story at the end, basically, you know, on how her and Nancy met. And how Nancy basically took her and her children in, and she wanted to have a baby. You know, her and Miss Nancy, of course, 2 women can't have a baby. But she wanted to be able to have something with Miss Nancy to say, okay, you know, this is your child. So she ended up, this man at the, I think it was a social worker or somewhere like that, one of the places she used to go. He ended up flirting with her. You know, she knew what he wanted and she gave him what he wanted, and they ended up having a baby. Evidently, she didn't tell the guy. So they took that in as Miss Nancy's child, and that child happened to be Yolanda. And that's why Yolanda was spoiled. You know, that's why Nancy gave her what she wanted, because it was more of, she felt like that was her child, you know, that they had together after they ended up meeting and being together. So that's why Justin has a problem with it because, you know, like, how you gonna whisper in Miss Nancy's ear and say, hey, you know, I know you can't slide me no more on her deathbed. I know you can't slide me no more $100. So, you know, make sure you put it, you know, you give me what I need to get, you know, make sure everything's straight before you die and stuff. And that was very selfish and, you know, but anyway. So Yolanda is basically want to know where she come from. That's her whole thing. Her mama don't talk, you know, back in that generation. That's why I said on previous videos, I mean, I'm not in that generation where I'm going to keep secrets from my family, from my loved ones. It's something that I need to tell you that's going to be detrimental, most definitely. I'm gonna tell you, if it's something that you need to know who related to who and who slept with who or who done had that, I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna keep family secrets. You know, I won't do it. I probably told stuff that people feel like I shouldn't have told. But if it's going to be when I'm dead and gone, if somebody needs to know the information, they're going to have it. They're going to say, my mama told me, my grandmama told me, because no. And they was back in that day. So she knew that it was something wasn't right between her mama and Miss Nancy, because the kids made fun of it. It was like, who is that white man that, but she was hard. She wasn't a man, she was a woman. And she just didn't know who she was. She said that her mama told her that, well, that's just a partner. In her mind, she thought business partner. She was like, well, why y'all sleeping in the same room? And she was like, well, where else she gonna sleep? So that's how they did back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And I understand the fact that Lula said that, it was very shameful. It was a sin. It is a sin, for them to, be together and to be like that. So it was very shameful back in the day. And for 45 years, she never said nothing about that. Even the grandchildren had to guess, like, who is this lady? So that's really true to where a lot of her, pain come from, just not who she was. And also being in abusive relationships with guys. She told the story that, one guy put his hand on because she was looking for discipline. Yolanda was looking for discipline, but her parents were not able to give her that discipline. She said Miss Nancy was the disciplinarian, but when she would do it, she would turn around and say, oh, here goes something. So yeah, some parents, they'll come down on you, punish you or whatever, but then turn around and love on you and slide you some, for you feel it. But she wasn't looking for that. She was actually looking for discipline. And she ended up getting it with her boyfriend. So the first guy, she said she always been the type of person to pop off. So when she done popped off at the mouth, the guy hemmed her up. And that started her cycle of being in abusive relationships. And it passed down to her children. Her mom was in an abusive relationship. So all of this stuff is just generation. Okay, so now let's move on to Yolanda's children. Justin, which is 28 years old, he wants to for him and his mom to be in a better place and for his family to be in a good place. And it seems as though the reason they're not because how Yolanda, which his mom treated his wife, among other things. And one thing that she did say is that one thing Justin did say is when they were growing up, his mama chose a man over him. She said that, look, when it come down to it, if it's a man, I'm going to choose a man over you in the day. And of course she don't remember that. But that stuff right there, man, I can't imagine. That's one thing, baby. That's one thing. I do not approve of a woman choosing a man over their children, period. That's a period. And I see a lot of women do that all the time. Like, a man come in, children go out. Then when the man go out, children come back. No, you can't do that. Your children was there before that man was 9 times out of 10. So Yolanda, he also got the problem with, that you tried to harm my wife. Like, you pulled out a knife and said all this stuff because you still mad at what my wife said, being a nurse to my grandmama. So let's move on to Lauren and KJ. These are the other children. They have KJ is still the youngest one. He hadn't experienced a lot of stuff yet because it seems like that Yolanda will cut all of them off. Lauren seems to has a lot of hurting issues and pains with her mom and how her mom has treated her, and especially her being in an abusive relationship. A problem too that Justin, she got a problem with Justin is that Justin came around and was with her boyfriend, her abusive boyfriend, because that was his friend. And she like, why is you chilling with dude? Why is you around him if he is the one that is abusing your sister? Like, I can't see that. And he made it plain and simple, which I probably never thought about this. He said, but I'm not going to push my sister away. I'm going to be around this dude. Like, I'm going to be around him as much as I can because I need to see this for myself. If he doing anything, it's a wrap. Like, it's a wrap. I promise you. So I'm not with him, and going out to the movies and chilling with him because he abused my sister. I'm trying to see some stuff for myself. So that was something that she didn't know. And also he said, because I don't want to push her away like you did me. like you chose a man over me, you pushed me away. If I choose, and saying, hey, you need to break up, then it's going to push her closer. And that's what it did. It come to find out, it pushed her closer to this abusive boyfriend. And I guess baby dad, I think that's her child's father. So Iyanla wanted to talk about all of that. And she also brought them in. And it seems like Yolanda and Herbert, was talking about, the fight. They got into it and everything. So about, you put your hands on me, you choked me and stuff like that. So it seems like somebody got a different account on what happened. So she's talking to Yolanda the next morning. And she was saying, like, what happened? Like, what triggered that fight? That argument. Seemed like I told you, I told you, hey, come with humility and everything, but you just went ham. And she was like, I'm so sorry. It comes from all the abusive relationships that I had, and just a jacked up past and all this stuff. So my uncle just reminded me of the abuse. So Iyanla did not let her get away with that. And I find that, to me personally, that she's very Yolanda is very manipulative, and she doesn't take accountability for the stuff that she say or do. And she got, like she said, triggers. She got triggers and things that she trying to get past. So if you are entering the giveaway, let me tell you what the word is, because I said that I'm going to say it on every video until next week. The word for this giveaway, Christmas giveaway, is love. Love is the word for this video. Love. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to put the clip of the giveaway at the end of this video so you can make sure that you enter to win. All right. Now let's talk about Justin. So at this point, Justin is in the, I guess that's the kitchen. And he's talking to his mom, and Iyanla wants them to have a conversation. Why she don't have respect for her son. And what he was saying, is very hurtful. So she said, you mean to tell me you don't have respect for this man that's a father of 3, married to an RN, seemed like he did pretty good for his life, and you don't respect him? And she was like, no, I respect him because, he is around, or was around, or the friend of my daughter's boyfriend. Like, they were friends. So no, I have respect. And he explained why he was around that person. And so just to seem like her disdain, that she has for her children, or if they don't do it the way that she say do it, they don't follow her rules to the T. I'm saying you dysfunctional. How can you expect somebody that is you dysfunctional? How can a dysfunctional person, and even in their behavior, expect a person to respect them or even listen to them when you not even a person that want to listen to your own self? So how can that even be? Y'all, like I said, this was a lot to unpack. So it seems like Justin and his mom went into the other room, and they ended up having an argument because she said the reason why, he hurt her feelings, and it's because he didn't take up for her when it came down to the uncle. Well, it seemed like that nobody would take up for her because then nobody believe her story. And so he was like, well, but mom, I mean, I believe like uncle. I believe, Uncle Herbert, that, I don't think he did all that stuff to you. And plus, when you whispered in Nancy's ear talking about that, make sure that you leave me, $100 and stuff like that. Like, mama, that's disrespectful. Like, it's always been about the money for you. And I'm just tired of it. Like, if that's what we here for, I can go. I don't have to have a conversation with you. I don't have to have a relationship with you. And at that point, he went in the other room and he was talking to his sister. Was like, look, you can have a relationship with your mama, but I ain't finna have one with her. I just not gonna be a part of that, and I don't want my kids having a relationship with their grandma because she gonna start saying stuff to them that's gonna diminish who I am as their father. And that's true, because sometimes people can be very spiteful and start talking down about, their parents, or talking down about the person that they don't like in front of the grandchildren or in front of the children. And then that puts thoughts and doubts in their head, like, what's going on? And why is grandmama talking about my daddy like that? So I do understand. So Iyanla wanted to, calm Justin down because he had got real hype about that. And he was totally upset. And Iyanla made a point that really and truly got to me and made me cry. Like, you as a mother should never saying, telling your child and choosing a man over your child, and then not on top of that, the stuff that you have said to him on how you don't respect him as a man. And she was saying that's why in the old days, when a man became a certain age, the men in the community or the men in the family would take that man off somewhere, because a woman don't know how to speak to a man. Some women don't know how to speak. And that's why she was saying that's why you got so many broken men and so many, beat down men, because women say certain stuff to damage a man. And that is so true, man. Oh, Jesus, that's so true. I never wanted to talk down to my boys, or even, my husband. I think it's certain stuff you just don't need to say. Keep it to yourself, because you can mess with a man's ego, and you can mess with even his heart, especially if you his mom. Now let's go to, this final part of it, is where everybody pretty much walks back into the room, and KJ, it seems to be the host, because Iyanla wanted him to write down on some cards, his thoughts. And the question he wanted to ask, since he's not into a lot of it, he's still young, so he's not heavily involved in it, and his mama don't treat him like she treats some of the rest of the siblings. So he began to ask some questions. She said, because one thing I want y'all to do is to break the pattern of weaponizing each other. Stop saying stuff that it ain't your business. So you fighting this battle over here, but this one your business. That fight between Uncle Herbert and your mama, that's not your business, because y'all wasn't there. So stop weaponizing each other and saying because of this, because of that, because of this. So just speak your truth. Get out of other folks' business. So the question was, KJ asked his grandmama, why didn't you tell us that you and Nance were a couple? And I explained that to y'all earlier on why she didn't say that. And, and she cried about it, but she should have just been truthful, because it would have helped, to alleviate a lot of confusion. And KJ did say to his uncle, I lost respect for you when you put your hands on my mama. Now they have a sit-down conversation, Yolanda and Miss Lula, Yolanda and her mama. They have a sit-down conversation. They're talking about she, for the first time, telling her daughter about her relationship with Miss Nancy. Now, Yolanda 40-some years old. And they had this relationship before. She actually is 44, and she was in a relationship with that lady for 45 years. So, and I don't know when she passed away. So she's now telling her daughter how they met, and, how was the relationship, and what happened to her father, and all that stuff that she should have been told her. So that's all I got. Now, one thing I do want to say, which I thought was very profound, because I have done this, Yolanda needs to come into grips with herself. Like your triggers, how mean you are, how low down you can be, all that stuff within you, and you need to verbalize it. I said this not on this video, but I said it on our other channel, Firestarter. And sometimes you just have to say stuff verbally. Like, if you're mean, say it. I'm mean, I'm low down, I'm hateful, I'm jealous, whatever it is. Now, you got to be honest with yourself. It ain't going to sound cute coming out your mouth. It ain't. So she told her to say that stuff out loud and say it to one other person. What I said, you say it out loud, say it to God. If you need to say it to another person, then fine. Because she said what that's going to do is open a harness of healing. And it's going to also be a place of transparency, because sometimes we think we're better than what we are. We think we are better. And I don't mean that we think we're better. No, we think that we're in a good place when we're not. So if certain stuff come out your mouth, and like she was saying, tell them that you're a horrible mother. You were a horrible mother. And to say that I was a horrible mother, that ain't gonna sound good. You may even pull back and say, well, I wasn't that bad. You just gotta be honest with yourself and say all that stuff. I was saying, write that stuff down. All that stuff that you feeling, write it down. If you mean, if you low down, if you hateful, if you hate somebody, verbalize it. Say it. Because what you're doing, you're shining the light on that darkness that's on the inside of you. Because if you have all these issues that's not godly, then it's evil. It's hateful. So shine the light on that stuff so that you can get healing. You know, and I said this before. This is what God told me, but you'll have to watch that video. But God told me to remove the bandage, because what does the bandage do? Once air hit, if you got a wound and you put a bandage on it, once air hit it, it begins to heal, right? Air is going to cause healing to it. You know, once it starts bleeding, then eventually it's going to get a scab, it's going to be a wound. But if you always got that bandage on, it's going to get moist, it's going to get sour, and it's going to get reinfected. So for some people that may be watching this video, it's time for you to take the bandages off. What does that look like? It looks like for you being open and honest about who you are, what you feel. She was telling her, go down deep and see what you feeling. Like your triggers, why you mad? I'm mad because of blah, 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 blah. Okay, then why? Well, because of blah, but why? Let's go deep. Let's go deep. Let's go deep. You know, one of them said that they felt abandoned. You know, let's go deep. It's some triggers, it's some stuff that happened to her as a child, meaning that, you know, you don't understand the dynamics of the family you grew up in. Then you got this white lady in your household, and, you know, people making fun of you and saying, well, is that your mama? Is that your, you know, whatever. So it goes deep. So, and why is it that you felt like you had to have disciplinary actions or whatever? So, you know, y'all, I say that's what I got even more from this, you know, that everybody, I don't care if you, everybody needs to take inventory over what they feel, their actions, and have open and honest truth. Open and honest truth. And I promise you, if you do that, then your healing is going to take place. How do I know? Because I had to do it. God required me to do it. So, yeah. All right. On that note, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. That's all I got. It was a lot to unpack, but hey, you know, if you got trauma. Yeah. If you got that, then seek some help and healing. All right. I will see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to go with God and let God go with you. Deuces.